Agencies Drinking Beer is brought to you by Proposify, software that helps agencies streamline their proposals in the cloud and get faster sign-off.
Welcome to the 13th episode of Agencies Drinking Beer, a podcast where we interview an agency owner, learn lessons, get a buzz on. On today's episode, we're going to be talking to Zach Johnson from California. He's going to be telling us how you can develop webinars that will help you avoid crappy clients. How have you been? This has been a while since we've done this.
Yes, but it's all for good reasons. We're building the team. It's exciting times.
Yeah, we took a little bit of a hiatus. We've been very slow to release new episodes of this podcast, as you say, because we've been very busy doing a lot of stuff for the business, for Proposify. So we just doubled our team, really, in the last month and a half.
Yeah.
We're going to have an updated team page soon on our site, so you'll get to see all of our new team members. Should we introduce them here, or
please do
keep the suspense going?
Well, yeah. Why don't we talk about them? Because especially Ricky. Ricky was our first new hire this year. Yeah, he started with us at Headspace too. He's been with us a long time.
Yeah,
the Rickster.
So Ricky's going to be working a lot on the product, on support, on quality assurance, and doing a lot of stuff. He's always been a jack of all trades. We also have hired our first customer support person, Sandra. She's now our customer happiness specialist. That's her official title.
And it's a good fit because she's very happy.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof.
And also Jen Faulkner, who we also have known for a long time, just started as our full-time marketing manager.
Veteran in the industry.
Yes, so she is going to be taking our blog and our social media accounts and all that stuff and actually creating content, giving value, getting, taking it a little further than we've done to date. So we're pretty excited about that.
Plus, she keeps us laughing.
She does.
Yes, the Faulkner is awesome.
And we also have another developer starting at the end of the month. So, things are happening quick. So, point in all this, you might not care about all this stuff, especially if you're not a Proposify customer. But we, as you can see, we've been busy growing the business, and I guess it's our sad excuse for not publishing more podcast episodes.
But we will promise you that we will, from this point on, be consistent.
Yes.
Yep.
Pinky swear.
Pinky swear. All right, we just did that.
We just did it. You can't see. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump into the interview. We had a chat a few weeks back. We didn't launch it, but now we're going to publish the interview we had with Zach Johnson, where we talked about webinars, which is really cool. So let's get into it.
Excellent.
We're here talking with Zach Johnson from GameChanger Profits. Zach's based out of Santa Barbara, California. Welcome to the show, Zach.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks for being on. So, there's lots to talk about. You're an expert in conversion optimization and in marketing, and you've also got a really non-traditional website for your company. But before we go into all that, I just want to get a little background, maybe tell the listeners more about yourself and how GameChanger Profits came about.
Yeah, I've been in online marketing for the last 6-7 years, and first got my start when I was working with this guy named Mike Koenigs at Traffic Geyser, and we were working on a project called the New Money Master series with Tony Robbins and Frank Kern and Evan Page and all those internet marketing legends, and that was my foray into online marketing, and it got me so excited that when I lived in San Diego, I had my own Facebook advertising agency for about 3 years, and that actually ended with a failed partnership. It was pretty rough, and that led me to being a marketing director of growth and community at Entreport, which is like an email marketing software, and then the director of growth for a company called Lead Pages. And then up until about October this last year, I started GameChangers, which is now managing the marketing funnels for several dozen different online software companies, agencies, software like speaker author types. So yeah, that's our deal.
So you mentioned a few different types of I guess target clients that you would go after. Who would you say if you could only pick one, who would be your ideal client?
Oh man, I nail it out of the park for software companies like 9 times out of 10. It's software companies, and then I'd say agencies that have a real high, high client value that aren't leveraging paid advertising. Like software companies don't necessarily leverage webinars, and agencies don't necessarily leverage paid advertising, and so those two elements come into a big part of our strategy when architecting sales funnels for people.
Yeah, we talk a lot on this show about sales and marketing for agencies, and so many of them. I know we did when we ran our agency. We never spent money in advertising unless it was like a favor to somebody who we knew who wanted us to like book an ad spot in their magazine or something. It was all so based off of word of mouth and referrals, and RFPs are our least favorite acronym of all time.
Yeah.
So how would an agency do this? To me, it's unheard of. How does an agency actually generate a return from paid advertising?
Yeah, well, it's all starts with designing a sales funnel, right? Something that starts with the landing page and goes through a series of pages and email sequences, and the kind of most popular sales funnel that we build for our clients is a webinar sales funnel where we get them on a live webinar for their prospects every single week. And it's the same presentation, it's the same content, it's the same pitch, directing people into consultations or critiques or strategy sessions. We position the consults and the time with the expert differently with every single agency, but it really starts with a sales funnel that at the end of that sales funnel you're gonna get X amount of leads in, and hopefully you're converting 5% of those leads out, right? So if you're not converting 5% of your leads into customers, you're not doing something right.
Yeah, and it's kind of in a sense easier with a software company. I guess speaking, firsthand, it's easier to get the messaging right because your software does X for this type of market, so you've got a very kind of like clearly defined value prop. But I've always found agencies, us included at the time, really struggled with messaging because so many agencies essentially do the same thing if they don't have a very defined audience, right? It's like we design awesome websites for clients, or we help our clients with marketing. But I mean, how do you help agencies, or is that a big part of what you're helping agencies with, is nail down really defined value proposition that's actually going to pull people into that conversion funnel?
Yeah, I mean, agencies, like the best agencies are specialists in some particular category, and maybe 2 or 3 different ones. And so you got to find out like what's your area of specialty. So and then you've got to be able to build a funnel around that, or if it's 2 or 3 of those, you can build 2 or 3 different funnels. So for example, with Game Changers, if you go to GameChangerProfits.com/webinar, we're going to talk about how webinars can help you as a business owner make more than 6 figures a year in revenue and generate you more clients and cash in your business. If you go to GameChangerProfits.com/funnels, we're going to talk about the strategy of architecting a profitable funnel. If you go to GameChangerProfits.com/advertising, we're going to talk about how to turn $1 in paid advertising into $3 of revenue. And so those all have different lead-ins or different angles depending on the problem. So the cool thing about an agency is you get to take the problem approach to selling and funnels, whereas software, you really get stuck in terms of a product approach of like, we've got this product and how many different angles can I spin on one single product. But with agencies, it's even more powerful, and you can create even more kinds of different funnels to drive leads for each kind of area of specialty, whether it's paid media management, whether it's analytics and tracking, whether it's creative, web development, you name it. You can have multiple funnels for your business.
Mm-hmm. And you would just, I would assume, drive traffic from different, different like keyword campaigns to a specific one of those specific landing pages that matches whatever the user searched for or clicked on. Yeah.
There's like one of the things that we're doing right now from a paid traffic standpoint is we use a tool called builtwith.com, and we'll go in and we'll search for the customer list of X software company or X little widget, and download their customer list, upload it as a custom audience to Facebook, and run ads to it. And depending on whether we're downloading like an analytics company or like an email marketing company or like a paid advertising company, like an example would be you can download a list of everybody that's using a Facebook conversion pixel with Google Analytics, and those people are great candidates for your paid media management stuff, and you want to be able to run targeted ads to them on Facebook, and you would want to have a specific funnel for that.
Looking at your own website and hearing you talk, I mean, sadly, the thing we hear of a lot with agencies is, the cobbler's kids analogy of, agencies can maybe do marketing for their clients but never seem to practice what they preach with their own site. The GameChanger Profits site is not at all what you would think of what you usually see on any sort of service agency or consultant's website, right? It's usually talking about our clients and our latest case studies and our team and stuff like that, and yours is very, very different. Do you want to talk about like how you came to that site and why a webinar?
Yeah, it's a great question. I'm a big fan of on-site optimization and conversion optimization, and there's like so many websites, agency websites that are getting 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 hits a month to the website, and they have horrible conversion rates, and that would normally cost you $5,000-$10,000 to go and get that kind of traffic from a paid media source. But if you're getting it organic, the way I look at it is, hey, let's maximize this asset, get it converting, and then we can reinvest into paid advertising. So one of the ways to do that is have a very clear call to action on your homepage that it's a call to action that is going to convert, right? So if for every webinar registrant we can generate $40, $50, $60 in revenue within a 30-day window, that's really going to open up the door in terms of, okay, now I can drive traffic and buy email opt-ins or webinar registrants for $5 on Facebook. So I wanted to optimize our organic traffic first, and that's why I made our webinar is our main funnel, which then leads people into consultations and proposals and contracts thereafter.
And your main call to action is a webinar versus a lot that you see out there is usually enter your email address to whatever, download some free resource or something, the usual lead magnet kind of stuff. So why was it you chose a webinar? Is that just a way to get more kind of upfront and build a relationship with a lead to convert them into a client?
Yeah, it's a intimate, like 60 to 90 minute presentation where you get them locked in, and it's a way to really fine tune and hone in on your presentation. Like if you're doing a webinar every single week, you're gonna get good at that presentation, and most people suck right off the bat. But we force our clients to be like, all right, do it again, and give them critiques on like, hey, you need to amp up the energy level, or hey, when you're doing your close, you left out these particular like key elements, or when you're doing FAQs, like make sure that every question that's coming in, you're handling it basically like an objection and recapping it, with the solution as to why they should buy the product. So, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff, but it's much easier to get into the webinar game as opposed to really scripting out like a fancy video and putting a video on your homepage that you hope's going to maybe drive more people to the contact us page or an email submit that doesn't necessarily have a very clear follow-up process. Maybe adds them to your newsletter or something like that. But yeah,
I love that. I would definitely do that because it seems so much more personal and authentic It's almost that step between showing them a video that's pre-recorded and having like an in-person one-on-one meeting. It's like that perfect in-between happy medium, right?
Yeah. It's totally. Yeah, I mean, it's not all the way on the side of like, wow, here's a sales page for an agency, or here's a video sales letter with a hardcore close. It's very educational. It presents the problem. It agitates the problem. I mean, it's there's like a 30-point checklist in terms of our like content that we cover in a webinar presentation itself. And
plus, whereas what a lot of agencies do when a client calls is they say, well, let's book a meeting and chat about your needs. This way you're essentially making your own time, spending your own time more efficiently, right? Because you can talk to multiple clients at once and can potentially convert multiple leads into clients in one meeting, essentially.
Yeah, and so after the webinar presentation, there's a 2-step sales process where they come in, fill out an application. Sometimes they actually put down a $100 deposit to talk to us, so that we know that they're serious.
That's good.
And then once they fill out that application and they do a 20-minute screening call, then they actually have a full 60 to 90-minute discovery funnel critique or funnel strategy session, depending on whether they have a funnel or not.
Do you ever write proposals? Is that part of your process at all, or no?
We're really we kind of have a templatized approach to our funnel building process, so it's very productized in terms of it's a 90-day kind of commitment to work with us. We're going to take you through the strategy, the funnel mapping, the copy process of all your email sequences, your webinar scripts, landing page copy, ad copy, etc. Then the automation, then the analytics and dashboards, and then on to paid media. So we take a very phase-driven approach to it, as opposed to like a blended hour approach or like a billable hours or like a project type base. And then after that 90-day minimum, it's just an ongoing monthly retainer where we're just managing and optimizing and running the funnel for these companies, or we're building a new funnel for them after the 90 days.
And what kind of conversion are you seeing on the GameChanger Profits website?
Oh man, when we first came out with this page, it was converting at 60+%. It was amazing, and now we're it's been out for a while, and we like to switch it up, but it's around about 31% right now. Which is still amazing.
That is amazing. I mean, even I don't know if you'll agree or not, but everything I've read and have heard about is generally you want to aim for anywhere between 5 and 15% cold come to the homepage, convert to a lead sort of thing. Depending on the industry, of course. If you're doing 5%, that can be really good. So I mean 30 to 60% is out of this world.
Yeah, well, 60% was mainly just because it was new. 31% now people are starting to see it. I mean, that's why keeping your homepage fresh is important, and updating it, with a new, angle, new webinar presentation every month or so that you can maintain that, 15+%. I typically the benchmark I set for our clients is 20%. On all those landing pages.
Just this is a little off topic, but I hear the birds whistling in the background, and it just sounds magical where you're at right now. Are the birds dressing you as you talk?
Yeah, they're all just lined up here on a fence right here. I'm in Santa Barbara, and my house, there's my office is it opens up to this back patio, back side yard area where it's it's beautiful. It's a pretty like we're kind of like on an upper state area, remote-ish area of Santa Barbara. It's awesome. You need to come out.
Yeah.
Oh, big time. I'd be there. Yeah.
Yeah, you've been there, haven't you?
I've been to Orange County. You're not in Orange County though, are you? What county? No. Actually, my buddy lives down in Mission Viejo.
Oh, okay.
So I've been down there a couple times. Been to San Diego.
I met a guy last year who was from Rancho. Was it Rancho Cucamonga? Is that the place?
Yeah.
It's a real place.
Wow.
And it's where that show Workaholics, those guys are from. Did you ever see that show? I think it's like an MTV. No?
No.
All right.
I mean, I am a workaholic, so it's my daily life.
Yeah. Totally. So the birds took me a little off topic. Let's get back on it. So that's awesome. So it's really cool hearing how you market, your own company with GameChanger Profits. Now, when you're helping clients with their funnels, because as we know, agencies often don't pay any attention to their own website, their own conversion. They don't invest in their own advertising. What are the biggest challenges that agency clients tend to have with their marketing funnel, and what are big mistakes that you see them making?
Well, I see them, one, not investing into paid advertising, and there's endless amounts of traffic online if you can successfully turn $1 into $3 within a 30-day window. And I don't see them investing in their own marketing. So they're not investing in paid advertising. They're not investing in their own funnel. For me, like I've invested close to $60,000 in my own funnel over the last 6 months, and that's far more than what we charge in terms of working with our clients. So invest in your business. Invest. Your funnel is your biggest asset. They used to say the money was in your list, or the money was in your product before that. Really, the money is in your metrics. If you can, a lead is worth X, and a customer value is worth X at day 0, 7, 30, 60, 90, like in a software company, you can invest in your marketing with confidence.
Yeah.
And I see agencies really just chasing the big deal, and the way I look at numbers and the revenue growth of the agency is very much needs to be predictable month over month growth,
which is easier said than done with an agency business. as we know.
It is easier said than done, but it's something that I think is really important, and that's where a lot of monthly retainers come into play. A lot of have your upsells, have your cross sells. Most agencies are looking at it from we're gonna build this account, but when you go into the webinar presentation, there's a whole liquidation offer. Just get your foot in the door, sell something that's cheap, $50, $100. We sell we're coming out with a dashboard bundle for different companies to where they can manage all their metrics in a dashboard, and we're selling it for $7. We're teaching people on webinars for $50 and traffic for $100. It's just all training and resources and action plans to get our foot in the door and create quality leads. And then there's the whole 90-minute presentation on top of that, which is the real lead generator for landing those larger clients.
Yeah, it's so different from the traditional agency process of usually a lead comes in from word of mouth who's maybe they're interested in they need a new website or they need some help with their marketing, and then I think what you said a few minutes ago is they're chasing the big client, so they get really excited about big brand names or recognizable names that they're like, oh, I want to put that logo on our website. I mean, I've done it many times.
Yeah.
You get a notable client calls and they want a proposal or they want a pitch meeting or something, and you're just so excited to get that recognizable brand on your website. But from what I'm gathering from you, that's not maybe the best the soundest business strategy? You can't predict that every month.
I mean, it is a sound strategy for if you're just getting started in a business, or if you're like established and you're working with all the major brands. They want to see more major brands, but there's tons of ways to sell your services. Like, for example, we were just at this conference the last 2 days that we sponsored, and our whole strategy was just to like invest in people and understand like who, what they did at the company that they work for, and what was their background, and where are they from, where do they live. What's the classic saying? Like, people don't know like what you know until they know how much you care. Something cheesy and lame like that. But it is like you can scale an agency just from talking to people genuinely, and so and that allows you to focus on predictable growth, as opposed to just hunting for the whale. And don't get me wrong, hunting for the whale is fun. Like, but every agency podcast or every agency blog is out there is just like how X person landed a 7-figure client or a 6-figure client, or landed this massive deal, and the second they lose that client, people are losing their jobs, and that's just a crappy culture. So
it's almost like you need to find that perfect size too, right? Because if you get a client that's too big, it's what you just said. But then a lot of agencies as well get into this mode where they just need to take on whoever comes their way just to keep the lights on. So they're doing all these really small jobs that they're losing time and money on, but you just got to keep the invoices going out, right?
Yeah, and the way you get away from that is by when you have cash flow, is you invest in your marketing funnel, right? Like, to make sure that you never get desperate to take on like a crappy client. You got to make sure that you've always got a nice influx of leads, and so then you've got to have once you have a marketing funnel in place, then it's just about traffic, right? So you can go from an event standpoint and drive people to your funnel. You can do paid advertising, like on Facebook or Google, into your funnel. You can do partner webinars or guest, podcast interviews and drive people to your webinar presentation. Once it's set up, it's just about traffic.
Do you find though that a lot of companies that hire digital agencies tend to look for somebody local within their own city, or do you see a lot of people starting now more than before to like actually hire an agency in a different city just because they've got the unique expertise that they require?
Yeah, I would say there's both. I mean, we typically try to go after that unique expertise, but there's definitely something to be said for the agencies that are like have been in that city forever and they don't even do online marketing. It's just they know everybody in town. That is not at all our model. I mean, we don't have any clients here in Santa Barbara. I don't think nobody knows who we are. We've only been in business 6 or 7 months, and we're hiring about one person every single month. We're growing really quickly, but I mean, it's just there's so many other businesses out there outside of Santa Barbara.
Yeah, it's really scary to have to rely just on local business.
Yeah, that is risky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and once you just open it up to the world, I mean, that's the hard thing too. Is if your agency doesn't really do anything that's different from what any other agency in any other city does, then you are pretty much just going to be limited to local clients. Because otherwise, why would somebody, if we're here in Halifax, Nova Scotia, which, I mean, let's face it, most people in the States don't know where that is. Why would they hire an agency in Halifax unless they did something that you couldn't really find anywhere else? And that's, I would say, the hard part. Mm.
Yeah, part of that's why when we take our clients through the funnel strategy process, I mean, we figure out that strategy, like what's their offer, what's their angle, how are we going to position them as experts in a specific field or area. And then we go through the copy process once that's actually complete. So, you don't want to, if you start off too broad, the copy and the automation, the whole funnel is going to fail once you get to the paid advertising front. So you really got to invest in, nailing down the positioning and the strategy right off the bat.
Are you able to talk about, and they could be your clients or they could just be people or agencies that you know about or have heard about, but I mean, who in your opinion is an example of like somebody who's just killing it right now when it comes to really nailing their unique value prop and being able to close a lot of business? And does anybody come to mind?
I mean, yeah, like our clients are doing really well. Like I know their numbers, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Just the names that you see out there are always deceiving. It's always easy to look out there and be like, oh wow, they're doing really well, and then you really dig into their numbers, and it's like, wow, you guys have horrible numbers, horrible metrics. Like they might have gotten lucky in terms of getting exposure and on your radar and a couple times in a week, and you're like super impressed. But when you really dive into their numbers and what their cost is to acquire a new client, and what their sales funnel is, how their sales funnel is performing, or the fact that they don't have a sales funnel. So I don't know. I don't get caught up in all that stuff. I'm just more focused on, what are my own numbers? What are my new benchmarks? How can we, improve that, test that, and grow that?
Well, okay, let me rephrase that because I don't think I phrased it well. So what I mean is not giving us specific like conversion numbers from or revenue numbers from agencies, but like we've talked on the show a lot about an agency in New Brunswick called Onboardly, which actually we talked about it on the show with Jason because they're a client of his, and they're really cool because they're mostly an agency made up of women, which you don't see a lot. We talked with Heather about that when she was on the show. But also they have a very defined niche, which is startup, like technology companies and startups, especially like recently funded startups, and they just do PR. So they've got like kind of multiple verticals intersecting, and what that lets them do is they know a lot about startups. They're really heavily involved in the scene, so they're able to attract those clients more and not waste their time doing the shotgun approach and trying to get clients from all kinds of different industries. So when you thinking of an agency like that, I'm just trying to think of different. It's really impressive when you can find an agency that's got a really clear niche and a clear target.
Yep.
In your experience, have you come across any cool agencies that are sort of like that have this really, really unique value prop?
I mean, these guys definitely are nailing down their niche. I think there's a couple like agencies that are really like specializing in conversion rate optimization that are doing pretty well. I think there's also some new agencies popping up that are just specializing in tracking and analytics, and like they were all over this event that we were just at, this conversion conference event. But yeah, nobody really like comes to mind specifically.
And this might be you might be too high up on the sales funnel, sales funnel, to kind of know this. But like when you're helping out a client and driving more leads to their site and really helping them just really kill it in business. The hard thing about agencies, like it's easy when you're a software company because I mean, yeah, you get an influx of new customers. You might need to upgrade your server or maybe bring on an extra support person. But like agencies are so much hand holding. It's service work, right? So it doesn't scale the way software does.
Yeah.
Is that ever a problem where clients are like, I'm actually getting way more business now since I started working with you, and now I'm having a fulfillment problem?
Yeah, and then we don't touch the fulfillment problem, but we can you can create higher barriers where you can go from $100 deposit to $1,000 deposit, or like a $1,500 deposit where it's maybe more of, instead of 60 to 90 minutes, it's more of like a 4-hour discovery session. So that is definitely one way you can pull back on that. And paid advertising, agencies don't have to spend a lot. I mean, when your customer values are worth tens of thousands of dollars, or hundreds of thousands of dollars, it doesn't take the return on ad spend is astronomical. And that's why I think agencies need to invest more in advertising, is because they have the lifetime value is so high compared to software companies and And a lot of other companies, the average order values are, a couple $100, or monthly recurring revenues of a couple $100, or lifetime values of maybe 15, 20 grand ish over several years.
If they're lucky.
And they're scaling paid advertising in a huge way. I mean, they're spending 5-6 figures a month in paid advertising, and it's like, wow, like an agency has probably many clients that are worth 6 figures, and those are like valuable leads that I'm going after, man.
And they're also getting more cash up front too, right? Because if you're
a
software company billing monthly, you're not going to, even if you get $1,000 out of each customer, that could be over the course of 24 months.
No, with software companies, you really just need to like break even on your ad spend, because your monthly recurring revenues are going to take care of the rest, right?
Yeah.
But with agencies, I mean, you can get easily a 10 times return on your ad spend within a 30-day window, and that's just like unheard of in the paid advertising world. Just it's an amazing return.
Yeah. Yeah. So much cool stuff that you covered in this. I think a lot of agencies are going to get huge value out of this. I wanted to ask you, kind of what's next for GameChanger Profits? Where do you see it going over the next year or couple of years?
Yeah, we're really working our way upstream, right? So we're growing accounts, like bringing people in, and we really want to get to a point where we're managing larger sales funnels and optimizing larger sales funnels for people, where we have retainers in the value of $250,000, $500,000 in revenue. So we definitely want to move upstream. At the same time, we want to continue to productize our services, right? So we have kind of this 90-day funnel build program and funnel optimization program. We also, have a paid media program. We're coming out with a marketing metrics and dashboard solution and service, to where we'll be helping like agencies and software companies and authors and speakers in the publishing space get a grip on their numbers. Like, what's a lead worth to you from Facebook, or what's a lead worth to you from an event, and what's it worth at day 0, 30, 60, 90, so that you can then know what your cost per lead can be, and to scale that with confidence.
Cool.
And so I'm really excited about playing more in the marketing metrics and dashboard arena in the months to come.
Awesome. And if any agency owners listening to this want to learn more, get in touch with you, what should they do?
Yeah, if you go to just GameChangerProfits.com, you'll be able to register for our weekly live webinar. It's on Wednesdays, where we talk about the strategy of architecting profitable funnels. So you can put $1 in and paid advertising and get $3 out. If you want to talk with myself or Jody Underhill, who's our funnel strategist, you can go to GameChangerProfits.com/apply, and they'll just take you straight to where you can schedule a funnel critique and a funnel strategy session. It's normally a $100 deposit, but if you use the coupon code conversion, you'll be able to waive that $100 deposit and just get in touch with us on our calendars, and it'll be awesome. We'll spend 60 minutes like diving into your what your sales funnel looks like, and hopefully show you how awesome it can be.
Awesome. We will. Should we put that in the show notes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. We will do that. Well, thanks so much for being on the show and sharing your wisdom with us. You're gonna spend the rest of the day with those birds, just hanging with them, or? Yeah,
man, I'm enjoying Santa Barbara. If anyone wants to come out to Santa Barbara and visit, I'm always welcoming marketers to come.
Yes, be careful. We may take you up on that.
Yeah, please do.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Zach, and have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Thanks, Zach.
Cheers. I remember when we recorded that interview with Zach, I was really jealous because he was in California, and
oh God,
California,
stop.
Hey, you did your Mario from the Martian earlier, so
yes, I did.
I get to do Arnold.
Arnold. All right.
Okay. Anyway, I I was really jealous at the time because he was in California and it was hot, but now it's like, it feels like California now, probably.
Yeah, it does. But I love it.
It's so hot right now.
Yeah, the air conditioning is busted in this building.
Yeah.
Let's face it.
For people who think Canada is just like frozen tundra at all every day of the year, it actually gets really hot in certain places. And we are in the dead of summer now, so we're just puddles. We are puddles, but not of joy.
Put it in context, it's in Fahrenheit for all you U.S. listeners. It's, outside, I mean, in the sun, it's probably 90 degrees, 87, 90 degrees. Yeah.
So there you go. Now you know what the weather is like in Halifax, Nova Scotia.
But I think part of the jealousy, though, was when we were listening to the birds chirping in the background in Santa Barbara.
Instead of the pigeons and crows and seagulls we've got here. They don't sound as nice.
No.
Well, we hope you love that. As always, we would love for you to rate us and review us on the iTunes Store, and also send us in your questions so we can help answer them. And I guess we'll sign off for now.
See you.